Hey guys, welcome back to MMA Library. Today in MMA and UFC news, the long-awaited announcement for the middleweight title fight between Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira has finally been made. The two will go head-to-head on November 12th at UFC 281 in Madison Square Garden. In a recent interview, Adesanya spoke on the fight announcement and what he expects.
I've always picked the guy no one wants to fight, the guy everyone runs away from. I run towards. So yeah, I run towards the fire, and this is no different. And again, after he beat me, in Brazil, I never had any plans of trying to get revenge or anything like that, because I don't hold on to things. I let go of things. But again, I'm telling you, the universe has presented this to me, and it's right there. It's the perfect alley-oop, and I'm gonna slam this bit. And I'm really excited to have someone finally who, after the first round or the second round, they realize they can't do shit and just want to be defensive. I'm excited to have someone who's gonna attack me, who's gonna actually try and finish me. And this is the story of this fight, because he's done it before in the past in kickboxing. So for me, it's like, is he gonna get knocked out or am I gonna get knocked out? So that's why you have to tune in and find out.
Who do you guys think will take home the W? Let us know in the comment section below. In a recent interview, Chael Sonnen asks whether or not Islam Makhachev deserves a title shot. Here's what he had to say.
Like, if Islam was named anything other than Islam Makhachev, would he be getting the shot? If Islam did not have the blessing as the heir apparent to the throne by King Khabib, would he be getting the shot? I think so. I do think so. He's like 15-1, and I don't believe that one was even within the UFC. And I've had people I know I go back and forth on this. I just can't remember off the top of my head. Damn near perfect. He's won 8 or 9 in a row. I think so. He was in a number one contenders match. I can't co-sign the idea that this is ridiculous. When you have a guy who is 15-1, who is the heir apparent to the king, he's going to get special for sure. But when you dismiss him as though this is home cooking, guys, he was in, it was signed, it was done, and nobody pushed back. A number one contenders match with Dariush. Dariush didn't show up. Islam's last man standing makes him number one contender. I'm just reminding you of that. Just reminding in case you think this is real home cooking and this isn't right and this isn't the right guy. Well, you didn't complain it was the number one contenders match, which is the next closest thing.
Do you think there's any truth in what Chael's saying? Is it fair that Makhachev is getting the title fight? Jon Jones hits back at fans who have been criticizing him because he hasn't returned to the octagon yet. Jones tweeted, "The biggest complaint I hear from fight fans these days are, dude is taking too long. He's never going to fight. Sounds like people are becoming impatient. It's a great problem to have." Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure in one of Dana's last interviews he stated John's ready to go, just waiting to see what happens between Stipe and Francis. Right now I'm focusing on controlling what I can, that's packing on the pounds. When a fan asked Jones how much longer until his comeback fight, Jones said, "I've been hearing whispers about November, but honestly I have no clue. Been hearing that Francis could possibly be back on the table though." UFC welterweight James Krause has decided it's time to retire from UFC and focus on his coaching. Here's what he had to say.
Describe what it's like, now as you're transitioning from fighter to coach, to have a guy out of your gym that you've been working with the last few months now is a champion. I know it's not the official champion, but this is a big deal. What did it feel like for you on Saturday?
Oh man, it's just I feel like it's an amazing thing for me, obviously, but I feel like a lot of coaches don't even ever have the shot. They don't ever even have the chance to fight for a title. I've been fortunate enough to fight for 3, but I was 0 for going into Saturday night, and it was really important to me. And obviously, the 2 that I had before were Amanda Nunes and Demetrius Johnson. So, they're not easy goes. But man, Brandon is a special guy, and I really enjoy coaching him. And I got to be honest, for somebody that is so high level, so high notoriety, he is one of the most humble, coachable people that I've ever personally had the pleasure to train. And it's just something, it's refreshing. You don't see that very often anymore.
So how did this all come about? You linking up with him moving to Kansas City. From your perspective, how did it all go down?
Yeah, so we we have the same manager, so it was a little easy transition, I guess.
Curtis Blaydes recently spoke with the Schmo to explain why he believes he's a bad matchup for Stipe Miocic. Here's the clip.
Schmo remembers over in Columbus when you got your hand raised against Chris Dawkins. You had Stipe Miocic in the crowd, someone you've sparred with years prior. You called him out politely, but he's been rumored to be matched with Jon Jones. But why hasn't this match been booked yet, Curtis?
I have no idea. I don't know who's holding it up, but somebody's holding it up. I don't know if it's someone in Stipe's camp or Jon Jones' camp, but it should already be happening. Like, the matchup's there. I know the money's going to be there. I don't get the issue.
But if it doesn't happen, and let's say Francis Ngannou, he heals up and he returns in time, does he fight Jon Jones? Does he have another fight with Stipe Miocic?
It really depends on who the UFC wants to promote. Like, who do they think has a better opportunity to bring him an exciting fight? So it could go either way. I would like to see if that's what happens, if Ngannou is able to come back, him versus Jon Jones, just because it would be historic.
Certainly. Now the Schmo knows that you've had that experience with Stipe Miocic. We know he's the greatest heavyweight of all time. But what gives you the confidence from your work with him and what you see now that if you got matched up with Stipe Miocic, you get your hand raised?
I believe I'm also faster than he is. I know I'm heavier than he is. I know I have the ability to take him down. I've already proven I can do that to myself while we sparred, so I know I have that in my back pocket. I just believe that I'm a better overall fighter at this stage of my career than he is in his career.
What do you guys think about Blaydes' comments? Do you think he could get the win over Stipe? In a recent episode of the Believe You Me podcast, Anthony Smith and Michael Bisping discussed the fight between Dustin Poirier and Michael Chandler. Here's what they had to say.
I love that fight. I think it's the right fight for both guys. Like in the rankings and kind of where they're at. As far as the fans, that's one of the most fan appealing fights I think you can get. To be honest, I don't know. I could give you all the breaking analysis and we could break it down skill set for skill set, but to be fair, at this level of their division where both these guys are, neither one of them have been super consistent. So the only thing that's consistent is their likability and their excitement. Like, you're going to get a fantastic fight. You like both guys. It's going to be a barn burner. But Chandler, there for a little bit was having some trouble with his chin. He was taking damage. He was getting hurt. And, he was looking good, but then he would take a hard shot. But then he goes in with Gaethje, gets hurt early, and then just gets his head beat on like a speed bag and just takes them all. So
yeah, but what a fight that was, though.
What a
God.
Oh, one of the best fights I've ever seen. But and then Poirier, we all considered him the uncrowned champion, and he should go in there and he's got every skill set in the world to beat Oliveira, and then he looks great, but then Oliveira gets to his spots. They just haven't been the most. I don't think we've seen the best version of either one of those guys recently.
What do you guys think about Smith's comments? Let us know down below. Guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. If you like the content we do here on this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe to MMA Library for all the latest MMA and UFC news. We'll see you in the next video.